Hello, welcome to the Marginal Show, the cybersecurity show. So we have potentially the most dangerous cyber attack of 2025 called the Anubis Ransomware, right? So it's basically going after hospitals and areas in the construction sector in the US and major parts of the world. So in this video, I'm going to discuss what a ransomware is, generally speaking, what separates the Anubis ransomware from the others, and how basically it works, and also how you can protect yourself. But before I proceed, hit that subscribe button and the like button. I appreciate you. We're going dark. So ransomware is a type of malicious software that's basically malware that prevents users from accessing their file systems or networks, typically by encrypting the data, and then demands payment, basically a ransom, to restore access. The attacker usually provides a decryption key only after the ransom is paid, though payment does not guarantee that access will actually be restored. Now, basically, here's how ransomware works, right? So the ransomware basically infects a computer or network, often through phishing emails, malicious downloads, or exploiting software vulnerabilities. Once installed, it encrypts files or locks the system, making data and applications inaccessible to the victim. The victim receives a ransom note, usually demanding payment in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, to receive a decryption key or basically an unlock tool. Now, the key characteristics, generally speaking for ransomware, right, is the encryption. Most modern ransomware uses strong encryption to lock files, making them nearly impossible to recover without decryption key. The payment demand, that's where attackers demand payment, often in difficult to trace digital currencies, in exchange for restoring access. The spread of it, so ransomware can spread rapidly across networks, targeting databases, file servers, and critical infrastructure, potentially paralyzing entire organizations. There's a factor of double extortion. So some ransomware variants also threaten to publish or sell stolen data if the ransom, is not paid. Now, Anubis is an emerging ransomware as a service operation, first observed in December 2024, that stands out for its dual threat approach. It not only encrypts victim files, but can also permanently erase them using a dedicated wipe mode. So this rare combination significantly increases the pressure on victims and makes recovery impossible, even if the ransom is paid. So basically, the key features is the dual threat. So Anubis encrypts files and, when configured, can irreversibly wipe them. The wiper function is activated via a specific command line parameter. That's the wipe mode, which requires authentication via a key. There's the permanent destruction. So when the wiper is triggered, file contents are erased, right? The file sizes are reduced to 0 KB, but file names and directory structures remain. This basically renders standard recovery methods, including file restoration and ransom payment, ineffective. There's the volume of shadow copy deletion. So Anubis deletes volume shadow copies using commands like the VSS admin delete shadows, preventing file recovery from backup stored on the compromised system. There's the ransom note and extortion. So victims receive an HTML ransom note, and the attackers threaten to leak stolen data if payment is not made. However, if the wiper has been used, recovery is impossible regardless of payment. That's the kicker. The initial access is as goes, right? The attack typically begins with spear phishing emails containing malicious attachments or links used to gain an initial foothold and escalate privileges. There's the ransomware as a service model. So Anubis operates an affiliate program offering high revenue splits up to 80% for affiliates, and additional monetization options such as data extortion and access sales. The group targets multiple sectors, including healthcare, construction, and hospitality, with victims reported in Australia, Canada, Peru, and the US. Now, here's the implication for victims. There's no recovery guarantee. The presence of the wiper means that file recovery is impossible if the function is activated, even if the ransom is paid. There's increased pressure, so the destructive capability is designed to force victims into paying quickly, but in many cases, payment will not result in data restoration. Now, here are the mitigation recommendations, right? You want to maintain offline and immutable backups, as on-system backups like shadow copies are deleted by Anubis. enhance phishing defenses and user awareness to prevent initial compromise. Now, here are the key reasons why they're, the people who created this, or this specialized Anubis ransomware, is going after hospitals. Basically, the criticality of operations. So hospitals are highly dependent on digital systems for patient care, scheduling, and record keeping. So disruptions can directly threaten patient safety, making hospitals more likely to pay the ransoms quickly to restore operations. There's high value data. So healthcare organizations store sensitive personal, medical, and financial data, which is valuable for both extortion and resale on the dark web. There's lower cybersecurity defenses. So many healthcare providers operate with limited cybersecurity budgets and outdated systems, making them easier targets for ransomware groups. There's pressure to pay. The threat of file wiping combined with the risk to patient safety and regulatory penalties for data breaches increases the pressure on hospitals to pay the ransom. Now, in regards to the targeting of the construction sector, basically, you have project deadlines and financial impact. So construction and engineering firms often work on tight deadlines and large-scale projects. Disruption can lead to significant financial losses, contract penalties, and reputational damage, incentivizing quick ransom, payments. There's sensitive project data. So these firms, handle proprietary designs, contracts, and client information, which can be monetized through extortion or sale. There's the critical infrastructure. So construction companies are part of the broader critical infrastructure ecosystem, making their operations essential and attractive to threat actors seeking maximum leverage. So as far as the real world victims that we have the Pound Road Medical Center in Australia. That's Anubis's first known victim. And PRMC is a healthcare provider. The organization reported a cybersecurity incident on November 13, 2024, which led to the potential exposure of sensitive information, including contact details, health records, and government-issued card data. There is Summit Home Health in Canada. So Summit Home Health, it basically is another healthcare provider, was claimed as a victim in late December 2024. Anubis published a post about a massive data breach and later released the stolen data for free on underground forums after failed negotiations, highlighting the group's willingness to basically fully leak data if ransoms are not paid. There's Comercializora SE, that's in Peru. This engineering and construction company was named as a victim in December 29, 2024. So Anubis followed its typical pattern. It published an investigation article and then providing a link to download all stolen data after again failed negotiations. There was unnamed US-based engineering and construction firms. In February 2025, Anubis claimed a fourth victim, an engineering and construction company in the United States. Details about that incident remain limited as the claim was published only on Anubis's blog and not widely circulated on platforms. Now, here are the best practices for protection against Anubis ransomware. You have to exercise caution with email and web usage, avoid downloading attachments, clicking on links, or installing applications unless the source is verified and trusted. Implement web filtering to block access to known malicious sites. Regularly back up critical data, so maintain frequent offline and immutable backups. Store backups offsite or on the media that cannot be altered by ransomware. And routinely test your recovery process. Apply security patches promptly to operating systems, applications, and firmware to close vulnerabilities that attackers might exploit. Limit administrative privileges, so enforce the principle of least privilege by restricting user and application permissions to only what is necessary. Regularly audit and update access controls. Deploy advanced security solutions, so use an endpoint and detection response tool, and the extended detection and response, that's the XDR, and security information and event management tools to monitor, detect, and respond to suspicious activity in real time. Educate others, spread the word, conduct regular training for yourself and others on how to recognize phishing attempts and social engineering tactics. Encourage immediate reporting of suspicious emails and activity for yourself and others, right? If you have Linux or on an enterprise level, you want to use hardened configurations like disable unnecessary services, enforce strong firewalls, and ensure kernel and software are current. Protect the NAS and the ESXi systems So these are common targets for Anubis. Secure them with strong authentication and network segmentation. Implement data loss prevention. So this helps prevent system data from being exfiltrated by ransomware. Prepare an incident response plan. So develop, test, and update a ransomware specific response plan so your team knows what to do in the event of an attack. In regards to mobile device protection for Anubis variants targeting Android, download apps only from official web sources, right? Such as Google Play Store. Avoid clicking links on or downloading attachments from unknown or suspicious senders. Enable multi-factor authentication on all accounts to reduce the risk of credential theft. Limit app permissions, only grant permissions that are necessary for the app's function, and avoid apps requesting excessive access. Use reputable mobile security solutions with anti-malware, app scanning, and behavior analysis. Regularly update, your device's, operating system and all installed apps. Backup important data to secure encrypted cloud storage or, offline media. You want continuous monitoring and threat intelligence. So monitor network traffic for unusual activity, such as communication with known malicious domains or IPs. Stay informed. Regularly consult threat intelligence feeds and cybersecurity research to keep up with the latest ransomware developments. So that's what I have for you today. Please take a moment right now to hit that subscribe button and the like button. If you want more videos like this and you appreciate this content, let me know that by hitting that subscribe button and the like button. I appreciate your viewership. Stay safe. See you in the next video.